So, I'm here again to continue off my discussion, American domestic politics. So, now I want to discuss what's going on with the elections in Maine and the current Democratic nominee. Now, I'm sure you all heard a lot of noise about this guy, Graham Plattner. Okay. And I'm not here being completely defending Graham Plattner. I don't know the guy's whole record. I definitely like what he's talking about, though. I like what he's running on. And we need more people with his energy running for office. And I know there are people on the left mad that AOC won't endorse him. I get it. Because she's playing a little bit of political opportunist long game. We know that. But that being said, it also could be what he represents. You know, she don't know his legislative record. He don't really have one. He's running on all the right things. He is effectively the Democratic nominee for the Senate for the election to run against the only Republican, Susan Collins, in Maine. And it's him or her. So my words of advice to Maine voters, I mean, you get to make your pick. Do you want to go a different direction and ignore the smear tactics? Or move on and vote your conscience and never mind who endorses him and who doesn't? You know, you don't really need the green light from the AOC to vote for Graham Plattner. I'm sorry. You know, those are your two choices, Graham Plattner or Susan Collins. Okay? And my advice to Maine voters is, do you really want to vote for the lady, re-elect the woman that represents your state that enabled Donald Trump's behavior and agenda, who's effectively destroying your state and the rest of the country? Okay? That's the choices. So, I've been seeing the stories and the smear tactics that New York Times, Fox News, all these publishers and networks out here going on and on about Graham Plattner and his multiple affairs and his sexing scandals of 6 women and all this craziness. Oh man, they're sensationalizing this guy's sex life. To me, it reminds me more of like Bill Clinton all over again. Like, let's talk about this guy's personal morale and what he does on his personal time, or comments he's made, or a tattoo he had 20 years ago, or oh yeah, let's go on and on and on because it's such a big deal. Stop. This is so stupid. And I got news for you people in the press. Half of y'all enabled Donald Trump's behavior. And you didn't go after him in a very substantive way, and all you did was elevate this guy who's now sitting in the White House twice. Okay? And I want to remind the press out there, these smear tactics don't work. They're not going to work. And if the media continues to attack this guy running for Senate in Maine, it's only going to backfire. It's not going to work. The voters are not leaving him. Much less did the people that voted for Trump. It didn't work. And we got the ultimately immoral individual sitting in the White House. Are you really going to reference these attacks against a populist Democratic candidate because you feel threatened by this guy's possible power? Because that's what I'm seeing right now as a voter across the country. What I see is the press, the establishment Republicans, along with the establishment Democrats, and the far right, and the press, and the corporate press, which, by the way, America, we out there looking for real news, you can't trust the media anymore. You know, as Trump said, fake news, right? Yeah, they are fake news. Because they're shilling for Donald Trump right now. So, they're shilling for the corrupt elite. Alright, so here's the reality. They're only attacking this guy because they feel threatened by him. There are some people in the Democratic Party, I'm going to say this out loud, and I know there are people that ain't going to want to hear this that are just Team Democrat regardless. There are Democrats in the party that rather have a Republican get reelected or win an election before a populist Democrat ever wins, a progressive, because they don't want the power structure changed or broken in any way. They want to keep the status quo. And there will be some people, this is what I said under Donald Trump, All these people are revealing who they are. Look out for those charlatans. And there are people in the Democratic Party elite that will get behind the smear tactics of Republicans to go after candidates like Graham Plattner all over the country. Have your eyes open and watch what's going on. It's starting to happen. The other day, I saw a skit from Fox News, and not by choice. I was at the gym working out. God willing, I had to stomach the wall-to-wall propaganda of Fox News that this gym had up. Okay. Of course, I just shook my head and walked away. But right now, the Republicans are crying outrage because, oh dear God, the Democrats are running pro-bro candidates, and they're trying to win young male voters back. And they went on and on and on and on about Graham Plattner. Like, they couldn't shut up about this guy. And I just thought to myself, the same people that backed Donald Trump 3 times have the audacity to go after a Democratic candidate and talk about his personal morale. And how outraged they are that the Democrats are attempting to get young men to vote for them. Isn't that what Republicans tried to do? Isn't that what they did effectively? Isn't that how they won in 2024? Did they forget all this? Now they're mad that Democrats are playing them at their own game? Hey, it ain't the rest of our fault that you guys broke your promises to those voters and decided to go to do forever-ending wars, never-ending wars, and do nothing about inflation. You guys did it. You guys are backing the most corrupt president in U.S. history, which, by the way, has no morals and has slept with multiple women and has done a bunch of illegal things. And now you're talking to us about morals? Please, save it. And shove it where the sun doesn't shine, because we're not buying it. Okay? And I encourage any voter out there to be objective. Again, I want you to hold every elected official accountable, regardless of what they run on or what party they represent. So, I'm just telling people, pay attention, be objective, and vote your conscience. If you like the status quo in that Maine, Susan Collins is your gal. If you want change, though, in Maine, Graham Plattner's your guy. And again, if he doesn't hold true to that, you have another election to vote again. So, again, the choice is yours as voters. But I want you all to look out for the charlatans in the Democratic Party and in the elite, the charlatans in the Republican Party, and the charlatans in the media. I want you all to be objective out there. And that's all I'm going to say here. But anyways, y'all have a lovely, beautiful day. I love y'all. Goodbye.